Well, we're going to learn more about financial aid terms, kind of financial aid literacy. Joining us today, Tony Dickman, coordinator of financial aid at Ohio State Lima. And thanks for joining us today.
Yep, no problem.
All right, so when we're talking about financial aid and financial, grants and this and that, I mean, when you're trying to figure it all out, it can be confusing. So let's talk about some of the terms and exactly what it means. So I assume there are differences in financial aid?
Correct. And that's one of the things that we do during the orientation process. And that's what we want you to do over the summer. These kids who are getting ready to start in the fall, make sure that you're reviewing your financial aid so you know exactly what funds are scholarships, because scholarships you're not repaying. You probably had to do something a little extra, an extra application, an essay, stuff like that to get the scholarship. But we want you to know what is a scholarship, what is a grant, what is a student loan. Because like you said, it can be confusing. So again, scholarships, that's money you're not repaying. That's free money, basically. Grants, same thing, free money, you're not repaying grants. So there's going to be federal grants like the Pell Grant, from doing the FAFSA. There's also going to be university grants or college grants that you're going to get from your institution that you're going to go to. And then we also have, some different types of state grants. The state of Ohio awards grants as well. Then you have your student loans, and everybody knows student loans have to be repaid. And there's two types of loans that you can take out. Most people are eligible for at least one of them. So you can do the subsidized loan, which has no interest rate while you're enrolled in school. And then the unsubsidized loan does have an interest rate from day one of that loan, once the school disperses it.
I think that, when I remember like when my kids were going to school, we just were like, we need the money. We got to find it wherever it comes from. We'll take it to pay for college. But do you recommend that people, figure it out first? Like you mentioned, some of them you pay back, some of them you don't, and kind of make sure you know what's happening?
Correct. And, Ohio State, we try to organize everything on like their award letter. So when they go to their account, their Buckeye link, they see grants, scholarships, and then loans on the bottom. So we want you to know we try to put the free money, the ones you're not repaying, front and center so that okay, my tuition minus my grants and scholarships, what is the bottom line that I would be borrowing to cover, the remaining balance. So, some students have to look at that and have to take out the student loans, but we're going to do everything that we can to get you out of here with as little debt as possible. That's one reason. Why OSU Lima is a great start, because, our tuition is less than Columbus. You get that Ohio State, education. We have a lot of programs as well starting, and some that in place for several years now. We have the Buckeye Affordability Grant, that's designed to help Pell eligible students remain debt free. We also have the Scarlet and Gray Advantage that will begin the pilot program this year coming up. So we have some of our students enrolled in that program. Again, that's another program initiative, to keep students from having to borrow student loans. So we're really excited about, Scarlet and Gray, the continuation of the Buckeye Affordability Grant.
So would you suggest, if you're a student or a family, you're looking at the bottom line, well, this is how much I have to pay, to check it out with you, and maybe there are other avenues that, they don't know about, or, some scholarship that they didn't apply for?
Yeah, it's kind of funny, we do tell our kids, I tell my kids, Henry, Theo, and Michael, I tell them all the time, you've got to be thorough. You have to review everything and make sure you understand. One of the biggest mistakes you can make going into your freshman year of college is just being confused and not understanding everything and not asking the questions. So it's been really, we started our orientations on campus last week. So it's been really great to see almost every student and parent stopping in, to my office asking questions. I even had somebody come in last week. They said, well, we're not using financial aid, but we just thought, can you tell us, what are the options on a payment plan? Do we have to pay everything up front? Schools, we all have different options. So yeah, we have payment plans. You're more than welcome to pay everything up front, but we do have options available. So we do like to sit down with the parents and the student and talk to them and go over all the options, just so that they're not jumping into it and just taking out, $5,500 in student loans for that first year, then, even adding on to that, each year after that. So we like to have that conversation. We like to be able to sit down with them and kind of go over all that stuff with them before they get here in the fall.
And as you said, each school is different. So even if you're not going to Ohio State, the kind of stuff that you talked about is the kind of questions you can ask whatever university or college that you're going to, right?
Correct. And one of the things that we always talk about when we do, I do a lot of high school night presentations and stuff. It's make sure you talk to financial aid. Make sure if you do qualify for a scholarship, make sure you know if it's renewable for 4 years. A lot of times scholarships are only for that first year. And if they are renewable for every single year after that, you have to maintain a certain GPA, or you have to, do like community service hours, stuff like that. So make sure you are aware of requirements to keep a grant or keep a scholarship, because we don't want you to, get a grant or a scholarship and then lose it after 1 year because you didn't have a 3.5 GPA, or a 3.0, whatever the case may be. You didn't meet one of the requirements.
Right.
We want you to know what the requirements are when you start so that you know where you need to be at the end of your first year.
Some sound advice on how to pay for college. Thanks, Tony, for joining us today.
Yep, no problem.
All right, don't go away. New Edition continues in a moment.